What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Poor Things, starring Emma Stone from Greek filmmaker Yorgos Lanthimos. This is Yorgos' first movie since The Favorite came out way back in 2018, which of course was a Oscar darling when it came out. Yorgos is, I think, one of the most esteemed and popular international filmmakers we have right now. And this film, Poor Things, which premiered back during festival season and was delayed due to the strikes out of a September release, coming out now at the end of December, very much still in the Oscar mix. Poor Things is the reunion of The Favorite triumvirate. Director Yorgos Lanthimos, screenwriter Tony McNamara, and star Emma Stone. Very exciting. Of course, Emma Stone, one of our great actresses, of course, already an Oscar winner, going to be almost assuredly nominated for Best Actress once again. She's tremendous in this movie. And yeah, it's very exciting because Yorgos is one of those signature filmmakers who has a point of view, he has something to say, and he also has a lot of style and verve to how he makes movies. And I think reuniting with McNamara made a lot of sense given how The Favorite went, and you can definitely feel the DNA of that past collaboration in Poor Things. And I mean, yeah, you're not going to say no to working with Emma Stone, so it all makes sense. And yeah, I have to say, I like Poor Things a lot. This is a movie that is also a lot. It is not going to be for everyone. This is a movie that is very indulgent. It is long. It's about 2 hours, 20 minutes. It's also incredibly graphic, explicitly nude and sexual, and also gross at times, but also very humorous. There's a lot to it. There's a lot going on. It's not a movie for everyone. Ultimately, I have some notes about the movie, but overall, I liked it, and it's a movie that I don't know how you can't appreciate what it's going for and what it's doing, just because it's so unique. And ultimately, and there's a lot to this movie, so I'm not really going to recap too much plot here. There's just a lot of plot to this movie. Let me know what you thought about Poor Things as you've seen it. Leave a comment below. But yeah, I think the thing with Poor Things, and most broadly speaking, is it's basically like a gender flip Frankenstein story set in like a pseudo like Victorian England, but like this England has a steampunkish like bend to it. It's not totally reality or totally history. And we were very introduced quite quickly to this scientist character, Godwin or God, played by Willem Dafoe, and he has kind of a scarred, cut up face that we learn about why in the movie. And he is a professor, but also just a tinkerer, a scientist, a experimenter, a surgeon, all these types of things. And he has, and we learn this quite quickly, he has basically taken a woman who he found had jumped off the bridge in London, like I believe it was like Tower Bridge, and to commit suicide, ostensibly. And he takes the body, realizes that she's pregnant, and takes the brain of the dying or dead unborn child, puts it into the body of the woman who jumped, played by Emma Stone, and essentially reanimates new life into this old body. And as a result, you're introduced to Emma Stone, can't really speak, doesn't really have full motor skills, is basically a adolescent growing child in a adult body. And Godwin enlists the help of his best student, played by Rami Youssef, to study and document what's going on with Bella, which is the new name for Emma Stone's reanimated character. And things, I think, like, it's a really effective setup, and visually the movie is really stark. Has this kind of monochrome look in the beginning, and then we get expressed the color later on once the movie moves forward. And again, not to recap too much plot, but we get introduced to Mark Ruffalo's character, who takes an interest to Bella, and Bella also quickly becomes like all id. Like, this is a character that really wants to learn and explore things about life, and one of those things she realizes is jumping on each other, or however they phrase it, fucking. And she takes on basically Ruffalo as a paramour, and they go to Portugal. Then eventually they go on a boat across Europe, take a pit stop in Alexandria. Things go wrong. They find themselves in Paris before they get back to London. And I think just the way where the movie goes and what happens with Ruffalo's character too in the beginning, where Ruffalo's character is basically this kind of hammy guy who gets really broken down into nothing by the end. Um, I think for me, there's like certain sequences in the movie that I enjoyed more than others. I thought the stuff with Portugal felt a little slow. It's like you kind of like got what was going on. I think we could have cut some of the scenes there, kind of kept it moving. Again, a little indulgent. But I think once we get to the boat, once we get to Paris, things start to really pick up. I think it's really enjoyable. Emma Stone is like really like on one in this movie, just in her bag. She's so charismatic, she's so compelling, and this character who never lacks in confidence, even if she at times lacks in knowledge of what's going on in the world and society. So much so that I think some of the funniest and compelling stuff in the movie is where she willingly, by choice, chooses to become a prostitute in Paris as almost like a form of like study to like learn about the sexual experience, having not had many partners to that point, apart from Ruffalo's character, and her learning how things go with John's, and like and also and very intentionally using it as a way to like make money for herself. All that stuff in the brothel is tremendous. Catherine Hunter plays like the head. I think she's great in the movie. The stuff on the boat I really like, especially once Bella meets Gerard Carmichael's character, who plays this kind of like openly like cynical, nihilistic person. Watching Ruffalo kind of amount to nothing is awesome. But even before that, like the dancing scene on the boat, I think was really good. There's just so much like standout, like stark stuff in the movie. And again, it's so unique with, I think it's a really sharp script. There's some like a lot of physical comedy, like really early on, like when you watch like adolescent Bella pick up a cadaver's like penis and like drop it up and down. It's like there's so many big laugh moments and like physical comedy. There's a lot of gross comedy in the movie as well. And then it starts to get like really quite sexual. But again, I think it all kind of makes sense in terms of the mood and the POV of what this story is going for. And I think it really like takes off. The other thing I didn't love as much in the movie is the almost ending. Like I thought we could cut some of the Portugal stuff. And also the movie seems to be wrapping up nicely where Bella is gonna marry Rami Youssef's character, and they had kind of agreed to do that, but Bella wanted to kind of go on an adventure first, and that's kind of like how the movie begins in earnest. But that gets interrupted when Emma Stone's original character, who committed suicide, that character's real life husband, played by Christopher Abbott, shows up to reclaim his wife, basically at the altar. And then we kind of had this like 25-minute interlude with Christopher Abbott's character before the movie actually ends. And I don't know, like I think Abbott, who's a great actor, I think Abbott's character was super one note as this kind of cruel, not nice, like military, like general character. Like it was kind of one dimensional to me, all that stuff. Like obviously Bella's gonna find a way to like break out of this prison and go back to what she wanted to do, which was marry Rami and like take over for Godwin. And like Godwin had been sick, and I think Willem Dafoe gets some really heartwarming stuff towards the end there, after initially being positioned at the very beginning of the movie as a like pseudo villainous character for like his creation of Bella and like his scientific pursuits and stuff. But like it's all quite warm, and I just feel like we almost like kind of wasted like 20 minutes at the end there, all to amount to like, yeah, they put the goat brain in Christopher Abbott's character, and they're all happily ever after. It's like it was kind of like an interstitial that I don't think we needed so much. Doesn't take away from the movie or my appreciation of the movie for all, just kind of a note. Yeah, like ultimately I was really with the humor. I was laughing a lot. I think the movie is very compelling, very interesting, and just very Yorgos, and it's certainly worthy of all the acclaim it's getting. It's going to be an awards contender. It's not going to win Best Picture. We can write that off now. It's just too weird. Is Emma Stone going to win Best Actress? I'm not sure. It could happen. I would say I think adapted screenplay nominations definitely coming up. Of course, this is an adaptation of the Alistair Gray novel of the same name, so McNamara's definitely going to get some plaudits there too. People have talked about Ruffalo's supporting actor nomination. It's a good performance. He kind of like makes fun of himself and goes on quite the journey as a character, both good and bad. But I wouldn't be shocked if he gets pushed out for somebody else, to be honest, but maybe. But yeah, I mean, Poor Things. There's so much plot, like there's a lot to it. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you thought of Poor Things. I think it's definitely a movie that'll be polarizing, have lots of a range of opinions and a range of things that worked and didn't work for you. But overall, I just thought it was a pretty epic movie in the end, and really carried by again core three, the McNamara script, just the Yorgos POV and authorial intent, and Emma Stone just as a force of nature again as an actor. Like those three, like really carry us with Poor Things. So yeah, banger movie. It's in my top 10 right now. Probably will stay there. But yeah, let me know what you thought of it. And for more movie reviews, more Oscar talk, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.